All right guys, welcome to another episode of The Build. Today we have a 700 horsepower Miata. Now this car, you can see the passion, you can see the hard work straight in this build. Everything is there for function. It's not pretty, but anyways, enough of me talking, let's check out the car. Start off, tell me a little bit about the car.
Well, it's a 1990 Mazda Miata. It's got a small block Chevrolet LS base motor, for the lack of a better term. Aluminum block 5.3 liter. It's got a Tex Racing T101 4-speed dog box, single 88mm turbo. Last build on this motor made 720 wheel and 693 foot-pounds of torque. So I've had this car for 10 years, kept the stock 1.6 in it, put a cage in it, we did some track days with it, and then that got boring quick because it's a Miata and they're slow. So then I built the bottom end in the 1.6, put a turbo on it, and it made decent power. It made 360 to the wheels, but no torque, you know, because it's a little 4-cylinder, so it just wasn't fun to race. It wasn't fun on track. There was no real challenge to drive it. Probably been 5 years ago now, we came down here and raced with the 1.6 car, and ended up blowing the head gasket or something, and it was like, well, let's put a V8 in it, you know, and it was literally just like that. It's like, the motor wasn't hurt, it was savable, but it's like, let's just go do something. It's time, you know, and so that started this ball rolling. We did do some half-mile drag racing with it. We went 175. And then it started slipping the clutch. We were really shooting for 200. We had a parachute on the back of the car. We had the whole nine, you know. And third pass of the day, it went out and slipped the clutch and ended up hurting that motor. So that's when this motor came about. And then we went 9 laps and then we hurt this motor, so.
You know, the Miata is a car that some people love, other people hate. It's the hairdresser car, right? But why a Miata?
Nobody wants to get beat by a Miata. You know, you don't want to go down a shift sector and get outrun by a $1,500 Miata when you're in your $250,000 Lamborghini or McLaren or, you know, whatever have you.
I'm sure that happened too.
It happened, absolutely it happened. And there's something fun about it, but
that's got to be fun on your end, though, sitting in the seat.
Oh, know, absolutely.
And just seeing them off in the distance.
And you got this $500,000, $250,000 car sitting next to you. You just drive away from it.
We were talking before, and I like how it's not a super pretty car.
It's not a GTR or a Porsche or something where it's like, oh, we gotta watch the paint, you know, and you know, we've had a few kids that are looking at it, and I just say, jump on in. And it's great to see them smile and laugh and have fun and be able to get in and out of a race car and enjoy it.
Talk to me a little bit about the inside. Obviously it's fully gutted. I see the roll cage.
Yeah, it's 1 3/4, 120 wall. A lot of factory sheet metal's been cut out of the inside. Yeah, not really for any other reason other than just to make room for the roll cage, but doing that, I think, kind of offset the weight of the roll cage by removing some of that material. We have the muffler actually inside the car to make the noise restriction for Laguna Seca. because they're really strict on noise requirements there. So it's hard for me because we went from running 4-inch open exhaust right off the turbo to this.
Yeah.
So with my earplugs in, it's hard to
like gauge where you're at or something?
Where we're at. Yeah, it's kind of silly as it sounds. It's like, man, I can't hear it.
So is that something you're gonna keep on, or are you gonna or are you only gonna have that for certain tracks?
I kind of like it. It's kind of neat being quiet and still being fast. Last month at Laguna Seca, we had an oil starvation issue and actually lost a rod bearing, which is this motor here. So we pulled it out. So it's got new rods, new cam, lifters, valve springs, push rods. It's a safer motor now, and we're just trying to get the tune right, get the handling right. We've been struggling.
Is that how today's been kind of going? Like
yeah. It's been a real rough day.
What was the previous compression?
9.5.
Yeah, so 9.5 to 11 for compression. It's 11.5 now. Thank you. That's why I'm really gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
So 9.5 to 11.5 for compression ratio. And then we're trying to keep a very simple boost by time setup for him, making it, because he loves going wide open throttle very, very quickly. And we're gonna make sure that's not always his instinct.
So when we went to Laguna last month, the car worked really well. It was fast. We were 2 seconds off the Miata track record.
Oh, wow.
With 9 laps on the car. I mean, it was moving, and then it wound up blowing up. So I was hoping we would come down here and kind of have that same momentum and the car work, and it just we've been fighting it ever since we unloaded, and I can't tell you how many times I've gone off and spun out. It's been a rough weekend so far.
So obviously you have full display inside. That's all. What are the switches to the left?
So we have our fuel pump. This also runs a turbo scavenge pump. This is the ECU, radiator fans, and there's an oil quota fan up front here. They're just basic toggle switches. We actually have 256 available channels to look through, I think, but only the important stuff. We got oil temperature, water temperature, oil pressure, boost, and RPM, and AFR down in the corner there. So,
what are you running as far as suspension?
These are off-the-shelf TN Flex coilovers, and then we run an iBox springs. Nothing special. They're not a trick shock. They're not custom valve. They've been on this car for 7 years now, so they got probably 30,000 miles of me street driving it, plus me racing it. So,
what's your favorite part about this car?
But it's not the same Miata you see with all the crazy aero and all the other things going on. It's different. We got too much horsepower, we got not enough tire, we got not enough downforce, we got not enough brakes. So we really stepped back 40 years and 50 years of racing technology, but to me it's a hell of a lot more fun to drive. We're not relying so much on other things to make the car work.
It's a really unique car.
Yeah.
It definitely stands out, and it looks like a hell of a lot of fun.
It dominates everything. I mean, there's not a day I'm not sitting at home watching racing on YouTube or watching something. You know, it's cars and racing, and that's it.